This is the Bill Squire Show.
Hey, I'm here with Mark Normand. He's one of the best doing it. He got the blessing from Jerry Seinfeld, and everything started taking off since then.
Sorry, can't take a compliment, but I appreciate it.
Yeah. How's things going with your? You're starting to get into theaters. You're starting to. Your special Out to Lunch has 10 million plus views on it on YouTube. You're really blowing up, man.
Well, I'll get canceled eventually, but this is the nice part. This is the come up. The come down is the ugly part. Look at Dane Cook. So I got to enjoy this and absorb it and take it all in because it's only down from here.
But that's part of the business. Even if without getting canceled, that's just how this business goes.
There's true.
Really high highs and then really low lows.
Yeah, but there's a couple guys who have just kind of killed it and they stay steady. They plateau.
It's hard to do that though, because you mentioned a guy like Dane Cook. That's a guy that was selling out arenas, and he could still sell a lot of tickets if he went out, but he just doesn't even seem that interested in going out to do stuff.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. That's a good point. I think he pops in at the Improv every now and then, but is he putting out new shit? That's the question.
Yeah, I don't think he has any interest, because also he's made so much money that you kind of like that. I think that's the most dangerous part, is when you make so much money that you become complacent, or you're like, I've said everything, or you just have stories that aren't relatable to people anymore.
Right. Well, that is the question, is like I've said everything I need to say. Like, think about all the great artists, like music artists. They put out all these albums. Maybe they got it out. Maybe they don't have 12 albums. Maybe they have 6 or 8.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same with stand-up. Like, maybe, Eddie Murphy did 2. Pryor did what, 4 or 5?
Yeah.
Maybe that's all they had.
Yeah.
Or do you think you should keep going?
I think it depends on the person, because I think, when you're a guy like Eddie, he was, stand-up never seemed like his first love.
Right.
I think he's like, oh, I'm just that funny and that gifted and that talented that I can just kind of like, he likes challenges. So he's like, okay, can I become a TV star? Yes, I can. Can I become a stand-up star? Yes, I can. Can I become the biggest movie star? Yes, I can. So he's climbed all these mountains, and he's like, okay, now I've kind of done, I won an Oscar. Like, there's not really much I haven't done for a guy like that. And I think that's, and he's like, he doesn't have to prove anything to anybody. He's like, I know I'm funny. Like, I don't need to go on stage and talk about anything anymore. He likes being a dad now. It's kind of cute.
It's cute. And he got caught with a trans prostitute back when it wasn't cool.
Yeah, I know, right? Now, if you get caught with that, he's very progressive.
Exactly. But I'm one of these guys who doesn't think he should do stand-up again. Look, I would love to watch it, but I don't think I like to leave with the high note. He's got cachet, he's got mystique. I feel like if he started up again, you see the cracks and the holes in the cement, and it takes away from it.
Yeah, I agree with that, because I didn't watch his stuff when I was a little kid because it was too dirty and I was raised Mormon. I didn't see it until I started doing stand-up, and I had seen so many people copy what he was doing, and I'm like word for word, like ripping off his bits and stuff. And I was like, oh, they ruined him, they ruined Carlin, and they ruined Pryor for me, in that, like, I appreciate what they did, but I could never fully enjoy them because I saw bastardized versions of their material that kind of like made it so like those aren't like my heroes because I came to them late.
I see. Yeah, no, I get that. I think it's a generational thing. Like, you ask somebody about Groucho Marx now, and they go, "Who the hell is that?"
Yeah, right. He was so edgy.
He had some moments, but yeah. I think I'm with you. But Carlin, he kept going because he kept changing.
Yeah, I think that's the key, is when you're willing to change and you're willing to evolve, you can find and also Carlin became less concerned about being funny and more just focusing on doing social commentary.
Right.
So when he's like, oh, I'm just gonna talk about the things that I want, and like, it's still funny, but it is, you know, a lot more like
Heavy.
it's heavy and it's, I don't want to say preachy, but it's philosophical in a way.
Right. Profound.
Yeah.
And poignant.
Yeah, and it's kind of like he's what Clapter comedy has devolved, or he's what it was supposed to be, and it devolved into just like, you guys are, you know, if you're mean to so and so, then you suck. And then people are like, yeah, that's not a joke though. He had like well thought out ideas and examples and just metaphors that worked out beyond just saying something that you know was going to get cheers in front of when you're preaching to the choir.
Yes, here. Yeah, he still kept it well written. He kept it fun, and not fun, but he kept it entertaining.
Yeah.
Well, you're right, where a lot of people took that and went just like, well, I have a point. I'm saying the right stuff. Like, yeah, but it's also got to be entertaining and fun to watch, and maybe have a punchline at the end at least.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can't ask for too much. Don't talk bad about people without punchlines. It's
yeah, those are angry people.
How often do you have people get angry at your shows? Because you talk about everything. I think you do a good job of walking the line and in talking about things in a very creative and funny way without being a dick about it. I think it's very clear that they are jokes, whereas there's some people, you know, they're like, oh, they're saying it's jokes, but it's like, it feels more like marketing. Like,
yeah,
he's doing a trans joke now because they want blogs written about them because it actually gets more views. Like it's marketing at this point.
Totally. That's a great way to put it. Yeah, I've had it, but I think it's kind of inevitable almost, you know, like everybody's got a thing. Even like super Republican people bitch about snowflakes, but then you make a Barron Trump joke and they try to kill you.
Oh yeah. So, I had a guy, he got mad at me because I was doing Deshaun Watson and gun control jokes, like simple stuff. Like I'm protesting the Browns by not playing for them this year.
Like, that's funny.
Yeah. And then said something like gun control, like you shouldn't be able to buy a gun if your name's Malachi. Silly shit like that.
Yeah.
And this guy walks out, but he doesn't understand comedy, obviously, because he walked out of my set flicking me off and like giving me a thumbs down while I was doing a joke about bestiality. So then it just looked like he was mad that I was making fun of people that are into bestiality. And I'm like, buddy, you got to do better with your timing.
Yes. I mean, everybody's a snowflake about something, you know. There's some guy who got fucked by a horse who's like, I love that Deshaun Watson bit, but that bestiality chunk, that triggered me. So, you know, if somebody gets upset, it's like,
that's how my dad died.
Yeah, I saw the movie Horse.
Yeah, it's
that one.
That's a rough one.
Yeah.
I can't believe that's part of the MCU.
Yeah, tough day on the farm.
Yeah.
But enough horsing around.
Yeah. So you got some big stuff. You're going to be at the Agora in Cleveland, June 18th. There's only like 30 or 40 tickets left. So I'm going to throw this up today and we'll, you know, hopefully it'll sell out by then. I mean, that's got to be a cool feeling just for how long you worked and what you've been through. And like, you know, for me, seeing your rise from a guy that was, you know, working clubs and headlining clubs, but now you're selling out theaters, and it's such a different audience when you have like some people that know who you are, and then a lot of like paper tickets or people that just come to a comedy club because it's there, versus when you have your audience.
Yes. Yeah. I just did Huntsville, Alabama for the first time. Not my market, apparently, but it was a lot of paper tickets, and it brought me back. Like, oh, this is work. Like you're like a gunslinger now, you know? So I'm very grateful for people who buy tickets, especially these theater folk. The whole thing is insane. It's weird because when I used to worry about getting bigger and blowing up and all that, nothing happened. But if you just do the work and keep the head down, stuff started happening. So that's what's kind of nice about theaters.
But well, the thing is too, and you mentioned doing the work, and you are relentless at putting out different material and, you know, promoting on your Instagram and YouTube and putting out like interesting stuff. It's not all just stand up, man. It's cool. Yeah, there you go. And
can't handle it.
What you should work on next is getting good at taking a compliment. That should it's impossible. Right. It's impossible. But no, you're like what you're doing on YouTube, where you're you know, you did some man on the street stuff. You do some behind the scenes stuff, and then you got your podcast with you do your own thing, right? On what's the Patreon?
Patreon, all over the road.
Yes. And then
that's me in the middle of nowhere, just talking into a microphone.
And then you got you and Joe List do Tuesdays with Stories.
Yes.
And then you and Sam Morrell do We Might Be Drunk.
Hey, well done. Look at you.
I
nailed the resume.
They're all in here somewhere. Let me tell you about when I was hosting for Sam.
Oh, please.
I was hosting for him at Hilarities right before he filmed his special last year, I think. Or whatever. I think it was last year.
I Got This.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was filming that and like working on everything. And I walked on stage to like bring him down and bring the feature down and bring him up.
Yeah.
And I tripped walking up the stairs at Hilarities and just like fucking face planted and just, it was so embarrassing. And then because I was so flustered, I forgot his fucking name. And like, that's one of those moments where like, I'll just be having a good day and I'll think about that. And I'll just be like, I got to go inside and lay down. I don't feel good about this still. And he was really cool about it, but it was just, like, I'll never feel good again.
I know, I've had so many of those where you're in the shower, then you're like, what was that? You're like slamming the wall naked in the shower. Like, God, I wish I could reverse time and take that back.
But I think that's also one of the things that keeps you, like, why you keep wanting to do stand-up and why you're like, I feel like stand-up's always gonna be something that you're doing because you humble yourself with, I mean, you can't even take a compliment.
Can't do it.
So,
can't do it. Well,
so you'll never feel comfortable.
It's a blessing and a curse, you know, because A, you never get comfortable, but B, I guess you'll keep working. So it's bittersweet. But one time you talk about fucking up people's names. This must have been 2009. I was hosting at this comedy club that's no longer there. And it was like a big gig for me, real comedy club. I was like a bar guy, you know, and I had to bring up Joe DeRosa. And he was like he was a working comic back then. So I was very excited. And I guess I had a brain queef because I go, give it up for Joe Rogan. The Joes and the O's and the R's, I got thrown off. And the crowd was like, oh. And then Joe DeRosa's unappealing ass walks out and nobody wants to see that. And they were like, and then he ate shit.
That's a rough one because that like hurts me forgetting Sam's name. Everybody knows Sam's name.
Right.
I just look like an ass. Like that hurts DeRosa's whole set. And then you like have to carry that around. You're like,
yes. And I was the new guy. I shouldn't have been there already. So it was bad. Yeah. He was cool about it. He's a good guy.
That's rough. You're about to go on tour doing some stuff with Bert Kreischer. And you work with Bert pretty regularly when he's doing like a bigger shows, but he's doing this festival tour. What is he calling it?
Fully Loaded.
Fully Loaded. Yes, that's right. And you're still a comic that drinks, which is nice.
We're a dying breed. Some from drinking, but I got a podcast about it. And Bert, I can headline my own shows, but I just love working with him, and he's fun, and he's way above all of us, but he doesn't have any of that, ego bullshit, which is so nice. There's no big timing or any of that. And
he loves fun, and he loves a party, and he loves bringing that to an audience. I've seen him do some of these bigger venues, and he's, if you've ever seen someone in like a stadium, it can be kind of blah with stand-up, but Bert's such a big personality that it can still like overcome. And then he's bringing, you and a talent, like it's great people. I think Taylor Tomlinson's on the tour.
Nikki, Fortune Teamster, David Tell, Big J, Joey Diaz.
Yeah. So like it's like all just killers. And just in Bert isn't just the guy that's gonna like be like, okay, we did the show, let's go hang. Like there might be some people relapsing on this tour. Like
that's the plan.
Yeah.
That'll be the name of the second year of it, Relapse Tour.
But no, he just puts on such a good time, and you being a part of that, and also you being such a different kind of performer compared to, he's like storytelling long form, and you do more concise bits. I mean, you still have some stories, but they're not these big grandiose stories like Bert has. Your stories are punchier and have like more of a, you know, twist to them and or sillier, I would say.
Yeah, well, you know how a lot of comics are. We tend to like what we're not. You
Yeah.
know, we go, oh, Dave Chappelle's like, I love Dave Attell. And you're like, yeah, but you're kind of preachy and
Yeah.
profound, where Dave Attell is his zinger after zinger about midgets. So Bert, I think, likes us zinger guys, and
Yeah.
Mickey's got quick jokes, and so Attell, obviously. So it'll be fun.
That'll be a good time.
Can't wait.
Then again, the Agora in Cleveland.
Yes.
June 18th. There's a few tickets left. You can get them by going to marknorman.com.
marknormancomedy.com. And I got to say, Cleveland is tough to sell. You guys wait till the last minute.
Dude.
Every other town was sold out way earlier.
So I'm friends with the talent booker there. And so I talked to him about that stuff, and he's like, it is so frustrating because people want to come out, but it is literally a last minute town for so many concerts and so many comedians and stuff like that, where they know shows will sell out, but it's going to be a last minute thing. And, you know, you're like a week out, and I think it'll sell out, you know, in plenty of time. But yeah, it's Cleveland's known for waiting until the last minute.
Yeah. I mean, Schultz had a whole spiel about it. I don't know if you saw that on YouTube, but he was just like, everything's sold out but Cleveland. What the fuck?
Yeah.
And then I was like, what's he talking about? I do well at hilarities. And then I put my theater up, and here we are. But
Stefano had a show booked there, and it was like, he's got fans here. He did hilarities and he sold real well, but he had a same theater you're going to. And he's like, I'm canceling it because I can't live with the anxiety of not having tickets sold. Like, it's making me nuts. So
dude, a half full theater is a punch in the taint. I mean, it stings. So it's kind of sell out or nothing with theaters.
Yeah.
Club, you got a curtain, you can move around, you can do crowd work. It's more intimate, but you're just looking off into that vast balcony. There's a guy sweeping up there. Woo! Talk about an ego kill.
So the place that I'm gonna be opening for you, and Chris Allen's gonna be on the show, who's a very funny guy as well.
Yeah.
I do like a Christmas show there, and I get about 500 or 600. It seats about 900. I get like 5 or 6, so it's all lower level stuff. And there's people like, oh man, it was packed. And I was like, because you guys, they're not aware that the upstairs was empty. So like, I completely relate to that. With, you know, I'm happy to get 600 people out to a show. I'm not, but yeah, you still have those 300 empty seats in the back of your mind. You're like, ah, damn.
Yeah, but as long as they think it was full, that's all that matters.
Right, exactly. It's all about appearances, which is what is one of the most frustrating things when you're a comic, especially when you came up in the time where there's so many comics now that are like, yeah, I'm great, and that's how they promote, and it's like, that's so hard to do.
I know. That's the other thing about theaters is like, it's very nice, it's very flattering, it's nice to have some career progression, but your whole life is just selling tickets.
Yeah,
and that's why you see guys like Bert, you know, in a Speedo, with roller skates on, because it's just like tickets, butts and seats, move those sales.
It's a lot of stress, and that's why buy your tickets in advance. That's what we'll tell the people. If you're going to see Mark or anybody, get your tickets as soon as you can so that we can sleep at night.
I need Will Smith to slap me just to get that ticket
bump
up.
I would take it.
Yeah, sure. And you get to meet Will Smith. I mean, it's a weird way to meet somebody, but I'll take it.
Yeah, I think it's better than a picture.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Good point. Also, you can just screenshot the action,
tour poster and everything.
This tour slaps.
All right, Mark, I'll let you go. I know you're a busy guy. Thanks for chatting with me, and then I'll see you on June 18th at the Agora. Sold out. Hey,
thank you, Billy. I'm sure we'll get there, but I appreciate it, and I'll see you there.
All right, see you there, man. Bye.
This is the Bill Squire Show.